Being a famous NBA player has both positives and negatives. Pretty much all of us have dreamed about what it would be like to have all that money and millions of people looking up to you. But the reality is, sometimes having millions of people watching you can totally backfire. Throughout the NBA's history, famous athletes have been getting exposed publicly for having affairs. It's not surprising that affairs are so common in the NBA, but sometimes the ways these guys get exposed can be very surprising and, to be totally honest, hilarious. Keep watching to learn about some crazy stories where NBA athletes got exposed by their side chicks. Dillon Brooks. One very recent example is Dillon Brooks of the Memphis Grizzlies. Last year, Brooks' romantic relationship was rocked and eventually destroyed, like many others were during the COVID pandemic. But unlike most people, Dillon Brooks is a famous NBA player, so the whole saga was posted online for the whole world to see and have their minds blown by. It's a wild story with several layers. It's like something that would happen deep into the 5th season of a cheesy Netflix show. Basically, the backstory is that some years earlier, Dillon had a baby with a woman named Heather. For some reason, Heather doesn't seem to have a last name. No news reports mentioned it, and even her own Instagram apparently just says her name is, go figure. But hey, that's not the only thing that'll leave you scratching your head about this story, not even close. Anyway, the story goes that Dillon Brooks and Heather split up after she had the baby. By 2020, Brooks had gotten together with a new girlfriend, this time one who apparently doesn't have a last name or a first name. The story could have ended there, but actually, that's really where it begins. In early 2020, Heather allegedly pressed charges against Dillon Brooks for domestic violence. Heather also claimed that she was now pregnant with Dillon's second child, news which probably went over extremely well with his current girlfriend. But that was only the start. Many of us decided to use COVID lockdowns as a chance to learn new skills. Heather, with no last name, decided to use the opportunity to become a full-on freaking detective. She began collecting screenshots of Instagram stories and Instagram messages, both from her own account and from other people's accounts as well. The result was pages and pages of screenshots, which she turned into sportsgossip.com. As you could probably guess by their name, sportsgossip.com wasn't exactly worried about Dillon Brooks' privacy, so they released all of the screenshots to the general public. The screenshots tell a complicated and crazy story. Apparently, Brooks not only cheated on his current girlfriend with his ex Heather, he had also been cheating with a woman from New York City named Mia Petrocelli. One of the screenshots actually shows Mia by herself responding to the rumors saying, "I'm a transgender girl who he f***s when he's in NY, but no more. He's a total asshole." It's pretty hard to interpret that more than one way. Sounds like Dillon Brooks was two-timing both his girlfriend and his ex all at once. Heather was able to get Mia on her side, which isn't a shock considering she had decided he was a total asshole. Mia gave screenshots of her messages with Brooks to sportsgossip.com as well. None of the messages were all that exposing, but they did show that Brooks and Mia were definitely talking to each other and that Brooks was trying to meet up while in New York. Heather also posted screenshots of text messages with Dillon Brooks' agent. Of course, his agent reached out because he wanted her to stop posting all these screenshots. Heather proudly refused and continued to become more and more obsessed with hating Dillon Brooks. In the end, Heather told Brooks simply to rot in hell. Dwight Howard. Life has been good to Dwight Howard. He's an iconic NBA superstar, a multi-millionaire, has a beautiful wife, and as of 2020, he's now an NBA champion too. But ironically, right at the peak of his career, Howard was exposed in a way he probably never expected. Literally, while he was celebrating in the Lakers locker room after winning the 2020 NBA Finals, Howard reopened a big wound in his career and personal life from earlier on. Like most players probably did at some point during the celebration, Howard went on Instagram Live to create a grainy, blurry, noisy video so fans could tune in while he doused himself in champagne and danced around. But somehow, I seriously have no idea how, Howard accidentally put up a screenshot of text messages between him and his wife on the live stream. Most of the people watching, including the rapper Waka Flocka Flame, got to read what they said. It wasn't super obvious without more context, but clearly, the people were having an argument. It reminded fans of how over the years, Howard's marriage had been strained. Most fans are probably thinking about the same exact thing, the time Howard got exposed by another man. In early 2019, a man named Mason Elijah came forward with the claim that Dwight Howard had been in a romantic relationship with him. Elijah claimed that Howard had harassed and intimidated him and tried to get him to sign an NDA so that their relationship wouldn't be exposed. Elijah actually brought legal action against Howard, who then allegedly countersued, although Howard denies this. Whether or not the allegations are true, we don't actually know. Howard has stayed married to his wife and from day one has strongly denied all of Mason Elijah's claims. Howard says he's never even met him. This type of situation can get very controversial very quickly. Debates can blow up about who to believe and who not to. This particular case was also made more complex by the fact that Howard was having to deny being in the closet as well as being unfaithful. It became a huge public ordeal for him. The story was all over media for months, and he even gave a live interview on Fox Sports at one point to address the rumors. Having either not worked with the PR person or having worked with the lousiest PR person of all time, Howard told the cameras that having to deal with the false allegations about his sexuality had set him free. I think we can all agree that if you're trying to deny rumors about your sexuality, this is one of the worst ways you could put it. What Howard was trying to say was that after seeing all the hate and controversy that got stirred up, he realized that people are going to be for and against you no matter who you are. But unfortunately, many people didn't take it that way. To this day, Howard has to deal with rumors about whether or not he's gay, and I suppose this video isn't helping. But at the end of the day, rumors and being a public figure comes with the price. I'm happy that Howard and his wife seem happy in their marriage together, and of course, we all wish them the best. Kelly Oubre. Kelly Oubre has recently made a name for himself in Golden State, where he misses three-pointers, causes turnovers, and every once in a while pulls off a sick dunk. But despite his less than critical role on the team, Oubre has been having an epic drama going on off the court and behind the scenes. In fact, it all came to light in January of 2021, so maybe it was part of the reason Oubre had such a record-breaking dry spell from the three-point line. It was at this time that Oubre's ex-girlfriend, Makina LaDuff, reached out to him privately and asked him for $3 million. LaDuff explained that if Oubre didn't pay up, she would start a smear campaign that she claimed would ruin his career. In case you're wondering, that's extortion, a serious crime that can land you in jail for as many as 4 years in California. Kelly Oubre responded by suing her. Neither Ubre or his legal team said what the smear campaign was supposed to be about. They simply called Makina's claims false. Obviously, Makina was keeping the info secret in order to try and get money out of Ubre, so nobody knows for sure what the info actually is yet. But there's reason to think maybe Makina isn't exactly the most credible source. A couple years ago, Ubre also sued her. This time, it was because, according to Ubre, Makina refused to leave his house when they broke up, then slashed his tires and stole his dogs. Ubre still doesn't have his 2 dogs, whose names are Saint and Soul. It's not like being a trespassing, tire slashing, dog kidnapper proves that you're lying, but I gotta say, it doesn't help your case. And the fact is, even if Makina does have real dirt on Ubre, it's a very serious crime to demand money from him. Whether she knows that or not, she still has to be out of her mind to even try it. Having only just broken the surface this year, the story is still developing. This may well turn into another case of an NBA player getting exposed, but for now, all we know is that Kelly Oubre's ex is trying like hell to expose him for something. Whatever it is, she thinks it's worth millions of dollars. Maybe so. Or maybe it's only worth a bunch of wasted time in court and a prison sentence. We'll see. Dwayne Wade. Nothing exposes a side chick faster than a baby. Dwayne Wade knows that all too well. Wade married the actress Gabrielle Union in 2014. The two were still together and have been building a family ever since. But amazingly, it all almost came crashing down right before the wedding. A year before the couple got married, they briefly split up. Wade almost immediately slept with another woman named Asia Matoyer. Who knows whether or not Union would have ever found out, except for one small detail. Matoyer got pregnant and 9 months later gave birth to Dwayne Wade's son. Talk about being exposed. If Wade had been trying to hide his behavior, well now, it would have been completely impossible. Union and Wade are a picture-perfect couple and by all accounts have a happy, healthy family. Maybe that's why it's so surprising to learn about this. But in the end, good for them for patching up whatever they needed to and moving on with their happy lives. Dwight Howard. Again. This is not a list you want to appear twice on. But unfortunately for Dwight Howard, he has the unique honor of doing so. Long before the drama with Mason Elijah, or before Howard met his current wife, he was in the headlines for a wild accusation that had come from the internet. A 16-year-old girl named Debbie claimed that Howard had actually flown her and one of her friends out to Florida in order to hang out with him. The claim was made a lot more believable by the fact that Debbie included some photos to back it up. They're not exactly high quality, but it definitely looks like it could be Howard, and together they're hanging out in a hotel room. More excellent work from Howard's PR team. There is no evidence of crime here, but damn almighty, it sure doesn't look good. If Howard had good PR people, they would have never let him get within 1,000,000 miles of that hotel room. But instead, he's partying with underage girls and talking about his sexuality being set free on Fox Sports. But now, the situation is even more serious, and honestly, Howard's reputation doesn't matter as much as the safety of these young women. If it's really true that he flew out a couple 16-year-old girls to stay in a hotel room with him, then it seems pretty likely that Howard has been up to some serious criminal activity, aka statutory rape. Howard was never charged. However, a crazy fact to know is that his current wife, Taya Cooper, is not much older than those girls in the hotel room. Back in 2014, when the allegations came out, Cooper had barely just turned 18. Today, she's 24, making her more than 10 years younger than Howard. The two didn't get married until 2020, so no need to call the police or anything. But still, I mean, if you think about it, she was in 2nd grade when Dwight Howard got drafted into the NBA. That's pretty weird. Tristan Thompson. It's surprising how many of these stories are recent, but none is more recent than this one. In fact, it's still going on. Tristan Thompson and Khloe Kardashian have had a rocky relationship, and we've covered it before on this channel. Honestly, as far as I can tell, almost all the problems they've had have stemmed from Tristan Thompson cheating. Thompson cheated on Khloe while she was still pregnant in 2018. Then, he allegedly cheated again with a close friend of the Kardashian family, Jordyn Woods. Somehow, despite multiple breakups, Khloe and Tristan have ended up together again after living together during COVID. But as of this year, Thompson is testing the relationship yet again. With suspiciously good timing for the newest season of Keeping Up with the Kardashians, drama has exploded after rumors surfaced that Thompson has been sleeping with a woman named Sydney Chase. Chase is an Instagram model. She posted the accusations online, but says that she only hooked up with Thompson because she didn't know he was in a relationship. As Stephen A. Smith would say, "What kind of damn rock is this Instagram model living under?" I could believe she didn't know if she was a grandma or a farmer from Idaho, but Chase is a young social media star living in Los Angeles. There's literally no way she didn't know she was hooking up with the boyfriend of one of the Kardashians. This scandal is so new that we don't know what's gonna happen yet, but we'll find out soon enough. Tristan and Khloe have been one of the most publicized couples in NBA history, and any new info that's revealed will come out immediately, everywhere.